Okay, welcome to Taking Action. I am Chris Colombo. Anthony Conover, who I hail is the best stats man in the business and the next up and coming me. And maybe better.
You know what? I try every week.
Okay, the show is, we're going into week 2 in the NFL. Week 1 was very, very successful and lucrative for us. Our main pick stood up, which I always intended to. We're going to recap last week. I'm going to go over some comments. We're going to straighten out this problem with the juice thing. We laughing. And we'll be right back with you. Okay, welcome back to Taking Action with Chris Colombo, Anthony Conover.
Well, hello, everyone.
Okay, who I hail once again as the best stats man in the business and the best up-and-coming handicapper in my business, in my opinion.
Well, excellent tutor I have.
Yeah. Who are you getting? All right.
The guy behind me.
Yeah. I got to tell you, that guy makes me a little nervous, too. All right, let's go into a few things. Okay. I'd like to start off with, yes, week 1 pick stood up, okay? I don't want to celebrate. It's a long season, and we're going to get there, okay? Secondly, how do you think we go into comments?
Yeah.
Did I mention week 1's pick stood?
It was over in the first quarter.
It's kind of like life. It's not over till there's no time left on the clock. And remember, anything could happen, but what they win by?
I thought, what was it, like 40? Actually, you know what? The beauty of having the computer in front of us now, I can actually look for you.
All right, good.
That would be the final score of 47-10.
47-10, you know?
They
sweated out the last minute.
just covered the 4-point total. Woo.
Yeah.
That was a scary one.
We edged by. Okay. Not every week is going to be that. I wish it would, but we're going to try.
We are going to try.
We are going to try. And we either do or don't do, and I believe we are going to do. Okay, let's go over the comments.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's look at a few.
There was 156 comments. All of about but 10 were positive, and I would like to thank everybody for their positive comments and their support. They get it.
Yeah, a lot of people happy that we were back.
I'm happy we're back.
I'm happy we're back as well.
Especially I got a terminal disease. Every day I'm happy I'm back. All right, if you wake up, it's a good day.
Exactly.
And if your kids are healthy. All right.
I'll get there one day.
All right, you will. You're going to make a nice, good father. I'm confident any girls out there, Anthony is available.
Readily available.
Readily available. Okay.
Readily available.
Readily available. All right. Did we say readily available?
Comments are the other pages.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Ed. See why I got them around? I'm blind in my left eye from the line. Okay. Ray, what's his name?
It's your handwriting.
That's why I'm asking you. All right, like a nut.
Ray Ridge?
Ray Ridge 9866. What did he say? Anthony making, what did he say? Anthony making, I don't know what he said, but they all basically say the same thing. And I'm going to tell you what that is. Okay. Except the one where the guy says.
I think he was the one that said difficult to find juice reel or whatever.
Okay. Yes. Anthony was going to explain that to you later. It's not my area of the business, but I will explain some things about that too. Why I approved it, because it gives you what you need.
It does.
Okay. All right. Sergi 121 says he's sketchy about that I say parlays. I did never say parlays. That word doesn't come out of my mouth. I said chew money dogs, getting money. If first of all, go to the computer, figure out how the parlay works. You get $140 for every 60 you bet, laying 110, and either taking or getting points, which is irrelevant at this point, for the outcome of the parlay payoff. So that's 14 on the 6, laying 110. Taking plus 10 on each of them in a money line will double that. So imagine when you bet a baseball game or an underdog taking 160, because now you're exponentially increasing your bet, but add it to plus 110 on each one. You only have to win 1 out of 3 to make money.
I was trying to carry the one there, just keeping up.
All right. Listen, it's very difficult to do. All right. Moving forward. Also, so I'm going to forget you ever said that, but for the record, the more teams you bet and the more that are connected to bet, the better shot the bookmaker, the odds maker, FanDuel, whatever the rest of their names are, have a shot. And I'm going to tell you what I did, because you've never had the opportunity to be on the other side of bets coming in. It's all computerized. And I did have a website for those guys that say whatever. It was one of the first. It was called thewizardsports.com. Matter of fact, most of what's replaced me as an illegal bookmaker, I created. Just so you know. Is that correct, Dan? So I gave him the technology to give me a kick in the ass on the way out. But I'm very happy being on this side. Okay, we're going to deal with the comments, which is going to lead into a lot of the questions you have. So for the record, I didn't say parlays, 2 money dogs in a parlay. And to exemplify what I'm saying is when I was a bookmaker, okay, not too long ago, but not that close ago, what I did to make money, and it really worked, is I would give 50% back of your losses on teasers. You heard? I'm going to repeat that. So to encourage business, that's how I know multi-team games and watching, and I give you the procedures of the people that beat me year in and year out. Okay, just so you know. So let's say you lost $500 for the year, you got $250 back, but I did it on a weekly with a red. So if you won $1,000 and lost $1,000, I didn't know you anything. If you lost $1,000 the following week, you got $500. If you won $1,000, you went in the red for $1,000, you lost $2,000. The $1,000 that I paid you came off, and you got another $500. That's how confident I was, and that's how I drummed up action. I was taking all the teasers in the area of the state and in the region, and probably in the country, because I paid back 50% on 2-team teasers. 2 teams and 3-team teasers are the biggest money maker for the house. We don't chart them, we don't pay attention to them, we write them, and we go to the bank. They stand up twice a year, and I believe last year, the 2 times that I could tell where the lines, that means they could fall both ways logically, I went 8 for 9 and 9 for 10. Is that correct?
I do believe so.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I used to be a big parlay fan.
If you bet 3 teams, you get 30 points. 30. Repeat that. How many points?
That would be 30, he said.
Add it to the line, and you still can't win. Or you pick 2 teams, and they give you 12 points, 6 on each team, and you still can't win. What makes you think on the regular line, betting multiple games, you're going to win? You could dilute yourself, but I'm going to tell you, sitting on the other side of it, you people made me a lot of money. So much, I gave you half back.
Yeah, I made FanDuel a lot of money with parlays.
Okay, and teasers and
no, I never did teasers, but I was a big parlay guy.
Is difficult. The only good bet of more than one bet is because exponentially it's 2 money dogs, but you got to pick the right ones.
Used to just look so enticing.
Right. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. Other thing is somebody said I'm not at 83%. The best is 55%. They said in the world
somewhere.
And I was 500%. Listen, every week I gave my pick last year, and every week I told you if I won or lost because it was there. I went 15 for 18. It should have been 15 for 17. There was a week I wanted to take off, and I did not want to bet the last week before the last week. And that's where I got screwed up. But I was at 91% until then. But listen, we learned something. If it ain't there, it's not there. Okay, let's go into some of the other ones. So I am at 83% last year, making me by a larger margin than the New Orleans Saints won compared to everybody else. Okay? Only as good as your last need, your last deal, and your last pick. I believe in that. Anything can happen. I'm not sticking my chest out. But not only that, you're putting your money where we're putting ours. Okay, Anthony's going to explain the juice thing to you. I think we could go forward with that. Now, Anthony, explain the juice thing to them, and I'll explain why I approved it.
Yeah. As for Juice, we all know that there were some comments that people were having trouble trying to find it. So to combat that, obviously, It is in the description of the video that we post. So if you just click into the description, there is a link that will take you directly to either the App Store or the Google Play Store, obviously, depending on what phone you have. You can just download the app directly from there. And then once the app is downloaded, if you go back into the YouTube and click on the link again, it will take you directly to our profile. There is also a social button on the bottom right. Let me see if maybe let's see.
Nice and slow with
I'm going to go nice and slow. There's also a social button. I don't know if maybe we'll be able to zoom in here. There's a social button right next to the big juice thing right here. You just click on that, and then there's a button that says Find Juicers on here as well. You would just type in our display name, which is tkingactn with CC. I will put all of this in the description again. I will put it in the comments again. So in case anybody, was looking to subscribe to it and was not able to, everybody will be able to find that again. But the link to download the app will be in the description and the comments again. And then once you download it and make your account, the probably easiest way to find us is to just go back to the link again, click it, because now the app is already downloaded, and it'll take you directly to our profile, and you'll be able to see exactly what our main pick is and obviously make some money.
And by the way, after I do today's show and the recap, I did give you the game that I made as my main pick.
Yeah.
I told you that the game I liked, and I was thought heavily about betting. And I'll explain that to you also while we're doing it. Okay. Just so you know, the $25 does not come to us. Was that correct?
I wish it came to us.
Well, me too. But it does serve the purpose that I need to service you in a proper way if you're going to win and have what I do up to the second, and if there's changes. Moving forward, Apple takes 50%. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now there's the guy that owns the app. What do you think he takes? Okay. Why I like this is it's directly linked to our betting account. You will see units. Why I chose to put it in units, your unit could be anything from $5 to $50 to $500 a unit to $5,000 to $1,000. It's irrelevant what we bet, and I can assure you it's not a low increment. Okay. But I don't want to confuse you with the amounts. But what you may see, this also allows us to do, it allows you to come in weekly and see my pick, what I choose. Now, usually the first 3 weeks of the season, not many people, professionals, bet the first 3 weeks.
It's a crapshoot.
Wise guys. When I mean wise guys, I mean the sharp bettors, the guys that'll put your eyes out, the people I'm teaching you how they bet, how I learned to bet. Okay. With a unit, there may be times in money management, it would take too much time on the show. Another person said it took a lot of time. I have to explain it to you. I don't know how else to do it. Okay. And I think you need to know. So when you see the units, you saw 2.5 units for us. If you bet $5, that would be $25 for you. If you bet $10, that would be $50. Right? 2.5, right? Then would be what? Yeah, 50, right? Yes, 2.5 units. You bet $100, it would be if it was 100 per unit, it would be 250, 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, 25,000. When you see the units, so when you may see 50 units, that means I'm doubling my play. 2.5 units is one play. And basically what I'm saying here to you, and you need to listen to me, if I have to, why I've been giving out, anything could happen first 3 weeks of football. Normally I make my plays on a Monday night, Tuesday. But the injury reports have not, early indications have not been accurate. They don't let you know till an hour before game. Weather is a factor. The only time I make my play early is I'm taking points, I'm laying points, and I think other people are going to be on it. Other than that, I like to analyze the line moves and see how they're going. Most of the time, my games are not the wise guy games or the popular games. That's why we avoid a lot of that what people say are fixed. I don't believe every game is. I believe there are games and there's money involved, so who knows? But and legalized gambling was one of my considerations, and I wanted to see if my procedures held up. Somebody said a little bit of success, not a little bit of success, a lot of success, and I am not charging. Apple takes 50%, and the guy that owns the app has to make money. So, but what it does do is it allows you to go right to my betting account.
This is true.
And with the units, if you bet whatever you make it for, so you see when I increase my bet. So if you see 37.5 units, that means I went 1.5. My bet. If you see 50 units, that means I doubled it. If you see 100 units, I quadrupled. That allowed me a money management on the games I really like to show you how to manage your money and break the bookmakers back. That's what I'm here to do. Secondly, why are we doing this way? It gives me everything I need. You see what we bet. We put our money where our mouth is. A. B, you also see if there's any changes. I did it on a weekly basis. It was cheaper on a monthly basis. But I don't think you should be obligated every week unless you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay, I am working to bring that price down, but it's not money coming out of my pocket when it comes down or goes up. It's not money adding in. So everybody that did that don't know me very well. And the people that say it, I'm at 50%. And the other thing is, we even created, I read your comments and I pay attention. Couldn't hear the sound, which is it, whatever. We tried everything to accommodate it. Now it's right there what we bet.
Yeah.
Okay, now the best way you could look at it is if you subscribe to the $25, you didn't lose anything because if you bet, you won. Even if you bet $25, you broke even.
Yeah.
So it didn't cost you anything unless I give you a loser.
This is true.
That's the truth.
As long as we keep winning.
Right. That's the name of the game. And let me tell you something. If for the other people, and I did give the New Orleans Saints out last week, or last week's week, I gave them out.
Talked about it. Yeah.
I just didn't know till I posted that because I have a 5-star method. Offense, defense, special teams. The line is the most important one. And then when I call my X variables that I put into the game.
Yeah. I mean, we sit there and go through every single game before the show, during the show. And, it comes down to the end when we, sit there and actually make an official pick. So, that's why, things can change. And this gives us the ability to change where.
What did I go? 4 for 5 this week? 3 for 4, something like that?
Yeah, I think 3 for 4.
Yeah, 3 for 4.
And then there was a push too, but obviously
There's
that's
2
whatever.
pushes we agreed on. Okay.
But, that's what I'm saying. It comes down to, and, in previous, last year, where if we said, all right, our main pick is this, we were recording that on a Tuesday. So we were kind of locked into it. Now, we don't have to say that, especially because all the way at the end, when we're actually making the pick, maybe things changed. Maybe an injury came out.
Maybe I'll buy it back or go another way.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into it now. So,
or if there's a nice move, you could catch a middle and make another play. I'll go to my second pick.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's definitely there's a lot of factors that go into making the pick, and we sit there and painstakingly go through.
It's not easy. Winning is difficult, but the flavor of winning is very tasty and enjoyable. But that's what I'm here to try and do. But also, if we go all year long, is another reason we're in the studio, and we did this because now you could see us all year long. And I may not always be able to give a show twice in a week, but in baseball and basketball, you need to know what the picks are.
Yeah.
How do I do that? I do a podcast 3 times a week.
Yeah, we're going to have to go live every day.
Right. And if I pass that expense on and his expense on, I'm not asking you to pay anything. I'm not getting the money. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you getting it? I mean, if you want to beef with Apple, it's the technology. Go ahead. I mean, it's like getting mad at Tom Cruise that makes a movie because HBO charges you to deliver it. Okay, I think I've made my point. Listen, I care much about you. And the reason why I have, and I fight very hard, a terminal disease since 98, killed my brother, Lyme disease from ticks. Blind in my left eye this week from it. Not the point. When the family went legalized, and I saw, and I mean that's from my heart, and plus I have to pass the knowledge on I've learned. So it's here forever for what happens. And let me tell you, I know what I'm talking about. Because if I didn't, I would be in very bad shape right now.
This is true.
Yes. And we all go up and down in life. But I mean, I would have never lived the life I lived. Okay, let's moving forward. All right. Let's do a recap of last week.
Yeah, let's go through.
But just let me reiterate, my intent is not to make money off you. It's to expand the show to help you, and I enjoy doing it. I like helping the youth.
I'm a big fan of the show.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan of the fans.
Yeah.
So
they were
please,
happy
I don't
we were
mind the
back.
negative comments. If you're a hateful guy, just say I hate everybody. I could get over it. But When you say something that makes sense, I will react to it, and I do read them. Matter of fact, I had 2 people that somehow got my number through this and called me at home, and I helped them.
Yeah, and they had to call me.
Well, I gave them your number because I couldn't tell them.
All right. Let's see. We kicked off the season last week.
Yes.
Obviously, Baltimore at Kansas City. Kansas City came out on top 27-20. It came down to a toenail. If Isaiah Likely's wearing a size 10 cleat instead of an 11,
if he's a fan of pedicures, Baltimore wins that game.
Yeah, and they were going to go for 2 as well. I like the aggressiveness early on in the
season.
The way the
line went, I expected that. I didn't say Baltimore was one of my bets. I know you're going to bet Baltimore against Kansas City because it's 3 kinds of bettors. The recreational bettor, the bettor that thinks he's a handicapper and he's going to win, and then there's the sharp bettor. I'm trying to make use of the sharp bettor. So Baltimore was not one of my picks. I said if you put my feet to the fire and I had to bet it, because the line was 3 Kansas City. And that game went exactly how I thought it would go. 3 I thought was too much. Did I say that?
Baltimore covers either way if they score that touchdown because they're going for 2. So they get it. They cover, obviously. If they don't get it, the Chiefs just take some knees.
It's the best analysis you're going to get because I'm not a Monday morning quarterback. I handicap and stand by before, and I learn and I watch. But in the way I expected. Kansas City, if they won the game, it was going to be more than 3. But Baltimore won the game, and they were there, and they were close. I can't help that Lamar fumbled the ball.
Yeah, there was a fumble there.
I can't help that. I can't help the interception. But I'll tell you what happened. When he went to move that ball, he did.
Yeah.
And in the final seconds, and better teams come from behind to win. Watch Baltimore this year. I can't help that he threw to 2 plays before, and the receiver just missed the ball.
The first play in the back of the end zone to Likely.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. The second one, Zay Flowers is wide open, standing in the end zone. Just listening to Chris Collinsworth, he's thinking that Likely should have just sat in the empty zone instead of following kind of with Lamar because Lamar threw it behind him. So obviously a miscommunication there on their part.
But the ball was thrown on the money.
Well, it was behind him.
But he should have caught it. The second one?
The second one, I don't think he should have caught. It was behind him.
The first one? Which one are we talking about?
I'm talking about the second one to Zay Flowers when he was wide open, but Lamar threw to the left of him because, Zay Flowers kept running with Lamar instead of just sitting down in the empty spot of the zone. So Lamar.
Right, but he was wide open.
It should have been a completed pass. Whether it was a bad pass or bad catch, whatever. It should have been a completed pass. And then obviously the final play of the game to Likely where he's out by a toe.
Should have scored a touchdown.
Well, yeah, and then some poor clock management there at the end as well from Lamar. Just because I think on one of the plays, it took him 10 seconds to snap the ball, and then you got to realize, I know Lamar can extend plays with the best of anyone, but extending the play when you have no timeouts and you're down by a touchdown, and is not the greatest idea when there's 30 seconds left because the play took 10 seconds. Now all of a sudden you're down to 20.
All right, let me recap that quick because somebody complained we went too long. Bottom line is, in the first game of the season, the first 3 weeks, they still got to get their rhythm down. It's one thing to play in practice. It's another thing to play with people to study your tapes. That's the problem with betting the first 3 weeks of football. Most professional gamblers do not. All right, let's move on to the next one. Anyway, Anthony's right. He has a size 10.5 shoe rather than 11. It falls just the way we said. If he gets a pedicure, it falls just the way we said. A little better money management, clock management, like money management is important. It falls the way we said. I was happy that my analysis of the game was proper. I can't help the result and the way the ball fell.
Let's see. Philly beat Green Bay over there in Brazil, 34-29. Obviously, the big story out of that, Jordan Love, second to last play of the game, gets tackled. I think he has a sprained MCL, so he's out about 4 to 6 weeks, I want to say it is.
Which is chronic afterwards also.
Yeah, definitely not a good injury to have.
No.
Pittsburgh beat Atlanta 18-10. Justin Fields ended up starting in that game. Russell Wilson, there were some reports of him not being 100% throughout training camp and things of that nature, but it kind of seemed like maybe he was going to play. But then when the final injury report, when the actives and inactives come out about an hour before the game, it was made clear that Fields was going to start. So they got the win 18-10. Arizona.
Okay, let me just stop you for a minute. I'd like to say something if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Look at the line in that game. Opened 3.5 Minnesota. That's one of the advantages.
Minnesota.
Of Miami.
Pittsburgh at Atlanta.
Pittsburgh and Atlanta. How did we skip over Jacksonville and Minnesota?
I'm just going down the ESPN list.
I have Jacksonville and Minnesota.
Well, Jacksonville played Miami.
Miami. It's my writing, but which one? Where are you?
All right. You want to do Jacksonville and Miami?
How about we do it the way we did it on the show?
I'm going down the ESPN list.
But ESPN didn't do the show with us last week.
Well, then I need the paper then if you want me to do it that way.
Well, I did it the way we recorded it last week.
All right. Let's see. Jacksonville and Miami. Miami 120-17.
Once again, I'm blind to my left eye.
Miami 120-17 over Jacksonville. Overcame a deficit there to sneak out a victory. Crazy at the beginning.
Well, you mind if I talk about the line?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, the point of that one is if you're betting, Miami, correct?
Miami won, yes.
Okay, by how much?
That would be 3.
Okay, what did the line open?
I can't see that now.
Line opened at 3.5. That meant people that took the 3.5 for Jacksonville, like the hook, which I proved to you about threes, would have what?
Lost.
Won the game.
Won. Won. Yeah.
I got to get you into the betting part of it. Okay. That means the NFL or Vegas put out a pretty accurate line because it fell on 3. The bettors bet it to 3. It stayed, it didn't move, so that meant 3 was thing, and it pushed. So that's one of the cases when we're betting, that betting early, taking the 3.5 would have made a difference between a push and a loss.
Yeah.
Now, also, people that have taken the 3.5 and bought 3 laying 2.5, what do they do?
I don't even know.
They hit a middle, they win both ways.
Oh, okay.
Got it? These are also things that I'm looking at that when I see will help you to the juice reel. Follow? Because you'll see me take 3.5, buy down to 2.5 and hit a middle. I don't like to do that because it's only juice one way, but they may charge you more. But sometimes I will lay the 3, take the 3.5, pay the juice, and just take the side. No shot to lose. Follow me? Okay, that is a gambling's point of view from the line and how important the line is. Next.
I was just going to say some crazy things over there with Tyreek Hill being detained before the game started for speeding, and it was a wild start to the Sunday. What do you have on the Pittsburgh, Atlanta? We kind of went over a little bit. Like I said, Pittsburgh won 18-10. Justin Fields ended up being the starter instead of Russell.
That was one of my picks.
Let me see.
Go ahead.
What is it? Giants?
No, I want to stay with Pittsburgh for a minute.
All right. Like I said, Pittsburgh 18-10 over Atlanta.
Okay. I picked Pittsburgh was one of my main picks. Why I didn't say it was the pick because Russell Wilson was
up in the air.
Okay. So that's why I waited. If Russell Wilson was playing, that might have been the pick I give you. That's another advantage of the juice reel.
Yeah.
Okay. But Pittsburgh still won. I got a win in the win column. You got a win in the win column. So he didn't make that much of a difference. I don't know what would have happened to him there, but I imagine it would have been better, no?
I guess.
Yeah, all right. But the line was based on him. He didn't go.
No, yeah.
Okay.
Right before the game.
Right before the game. That's why I'm putting it in later. Let's go to the next.
That would be the Giants. And they're Minnesota at the Giants. Minnesota came in and destroyed the Giants, 28-6.
I liked Minnesota. I think the Giants have tools. I just don't think they're utilizing them properly yet. I think it's a young season. I usually stay away from teams like the Giants, Texans, and there's one more I know.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. When I need them to win, they seem to always let me down. And when I need them to lose when they're under or favored by not so much, they stick it to me. Historically, those are my three albatrosses. I liked Minnesota in that game. I don't think the Giants utilized what they saw. And I don't think it's worth putting more time into it than that, do you?
Daniel Jones is terrible. That's all I have to say.
I don't like to criticize anybody. He has the capability to get better. We all do. We are the world. We are the people. Be a little more optimistic. Go ahead.
Carolina at New Orleans, which obviously ended up being our main pick. New Orleans won 47-10. They were 4.5-point favorites closing. And that game was over in the first quarter.
That was my pick. Pittsburgh was another one. And I'll show you the other ones as we go further. Just remember, the teams that I'm giving you that are going to win, I have no loyalty to. Next week, I may be betting against them for obvious reasons I see. Anthony brings a tremendous dimension on the things that he knows to it because he's up to date to the second on everything that happens. And there's no teleprompter or cue cards or notes here. He's just a fountain of this knowledge. And that helps me because it saves me time being blind in the left eye, going to the computer, and I may see it wrong. I even read my own writing wrong. But not the point. The point is, it's a very good combination. And what does it mean unless we can make money at it, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Go ahead, next.
What do you have here? I can't even.
That's Patriots, Cincinnati.
Yeah, the upset of the week. As a Patriot fan, made me happy. Shocking. Patriots won 16-10 in Cincinnati.
Okay. I didn't pick that game, but what I did say is by 8.5, you didn't need us to tell you who was the better team. I don't usually lay points like that.
Yeah.
Because there's always that give me up touchdown at the end, can't hurt anybody, rather than a mistake and then they come back and it's just the whole philosophy we'll go into later on. But I think Cincinnati is not out of it because of that loss. I think the Patriots are rebuilding, and I like what I saw. How about you?
Yeah, they're definitely rebuilding. Like I said, definitely the upset of the week, but I think this is the formula for them. They're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to play some very good defense. And, Cincinnati is a notorious slow starter. I think they started like 0-4 last season. Yes. The first 4 weeks of the year since Zach Taylor took over, they're just not a good team. So would not panic over Cincinnati.
Tom Brady and the Patriots on a whole was that way too.
Yeah, there were a lot of 2-2s during the Patriot run.
All right. Next one we have is Tennessee and Chicago.
Chicago with the 24-17 victory without scoring an offensive touchdown.
How many stars you see there?
That would be 4.
What does that mean?
That we liked that one.
Okay. That was one of my picks. That brings us up 3-1. Cincinnati, I picked one down, so 4-3-1. Okay, go ahead.
No. Like I said, they won the game without scoring an offensive touchdown. They had a punt return for a touchdown. They had an interception return for a touchdown, kicked a couple field goals, and got out of there with a W, which is all that matters at the end, I guess.
And they covered.
Yes, they did. Arizona at Buffalo. Buffalo gets the victory there, 34-28. Another comeback victory. Josh Allen playing Superman, as I said last week.
Well,
two passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, which I think is the 3rd or 4th time he's done it in his career, which is, believe it or not, the most in NFL history.
Okay, let me ask you another question. How many stars do you see next to Arizona?
I see 2. Or
3.
3.
Okay. 5 is my thing. You see 2 stars next to them, right? 3 stars?
I do.
That game pushed.
It did.
Okay. At 7, it would have won. Sweat is 3 stars. I think he,
Lots of stars.
Lots of stars.
What do we got?
So that was a pick that's a push. I don't count pushes.
Is that the Houston game you got right there?
Yes.
Houston with the 29-27 victory over the Colts. That one came down to the wire as well. Definitely a very back and forth game. And the Texans did what you said. They always disappoint when it comes to covering. I'm all in on them winning the division and being very good, but Benny, you got to stay away.
But if you'd have taken, it went from Texans 1.5 to 2.5. if you'd have laid the 1.5 early. So if I was going to bet Texans, I would have told you immediately.
Yeah.
Which is another thing with the juice reel did it because I would have gave it to you Monday night rather than Thursday because it would have moved. Another advantage to happen to it. I'm not selling it. I'm trying to get the price down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was pretty abusive with the guy. When you say, well, let's say abrupt, but it's there to service you. Okay, that's another example. Anthony likes Houston. I told you they're one of the teams that let me down as far as they never cover when I need them when they're the favorite, and they always would lose by more when they were under the underdog, and it just they drive me crazy. But I like the team. It's a very good team.
I'm all in on them as a team. Number 1 seed, I said. But that's my prediction.
My job here is not to reinforce your love of the games. It's to make sure you have money in your pocket.
The Raiders at the Chargers. Chargers got the 22-10 victory over there.
Okay, I don't think I picked anybody in that game. Too early in the season to make a decision.
Yeah, definitely some new things over there.
But the AFC has always been high scoring, exciting at least. I don't see it that way this year, do you?
Well, week 1, I believe the stats were like half of the quarterbacks didn't have over 300 yards passing, and also that they were on pace for the least amount of passing touchdowns or total touchdowns. I'm not sure exactly which one since 2006. So offense across the board in week 1 of the 2024 season was way down.
Okay. Seattle -4.5 over Denver.
Over Denver.
That also pushed.
No. Seattle won 26-20. It was 6. It ended in 6.
It ended in 6? But it went from 4.5 to 6.
That it did.
So
that's a push.
That's what I said.
All right. Maybe I misheard you then.
I circled. I wrote push.
I know. I see that on the paper. Maybe I misheard. I'm saying.
It's all right. I didn't mishear. The point of the matter is the line was pretty accurate. If you would have got in early betting that, if it was one of the teams I would have liked, we would have. That's another advantage. If you don't like it, I'll get rid of it. But if you want to bet and win, this is the way to go.
I would say so.
I'm trying like hell.
Washington and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay 37-20 victory there.
Tampa was one of my picks.
There's a star there. Can confirm it.
Yes. I think there was a star there because I needed to research it more. I couldn't have those answers, but it was one of my picks. And I did give it to you last week. So I think that makes me not.
I think the final tally was 3-1-1.
We don't count pushes. Yeah, no, but I found another win in that one.
Okay. 4-1.
I missed it because there was only one star and I looked at the tape.
Cleveland and Dallas.
No. We didn't get to there's 2 losses. It's 4-2.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Cleveland and Dallas. Dallas went into Cleveland, got the 33-17 victory. A little surprising for me. Sean Watson just doesn't look like he can play football anymore.
Too early in the season, he fine quarterback.
Was.
Let's give the guy some more. Can we just get three games under our belt?
Well, he hasn't been good in 2 years. That's my problem with him.
Well, maybe this is his year.
The Cleveland Browns with a fully guaranteed contract just surely opens up.
Yeah, imagine.
I think if they, as somebody did the math, if they cut him, they owe him $127 million in dead cap space. That is not what you want.
It doesn't help you get another quarterback, especially a franchise one.
Certainly does not.
Well, I hope he comes around because Cleveland is one of the teams I'm looking at this year. Okay, next one.
Was that the Rams and Detroit game he got there?
Yes.
That would be a 26-20 victory for the Lions in overtime. Sunday night.
When it goes to overtime, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, and they changed their tune-up a little bit in overtime. I feel like they were getting a little fancy during the game, passing. And then overtime, they said smash mouth offense. David Montgomery up the middle.
Okay, let's reiterate. I think it was a pretty good. A lot of lines, when you see a lot of pushes, means that the Vegas line was a strong line this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means it makes it harder to pick a winner. But most of those were moves to 3 pushes.
Yeah.
So if you got it early on the side you liked, it worked for you. If you didn't, you pushed. If you went to the bottom line, you might have gotten really hurt. That's part of what I do and why I do it. Okay, what are we going into now?
Oh, that would be week 2 of the NFL season. And why don't we kick it off with Buffalo at Miami, which opened at 2 and is now currently at 2.
That's going to be a very, very good game to watch.
Very good.
Buffalo and Miami both showed me a bit of a spark.
Yeah, they both came from behind to win in their games. There was a lot, like I said, going on with Miami pregame with Tyreek Hill getting detained.
That'll do it.
It was.
Trust me, I've been detained.
It was a wild scene.
For longer than Tyreek.
For speeding. They pulled him out of the car and everything. On the ground, handcuffed him.
Well, I'm not getting into all that nonsense. The point of the matter is it's not a good thing to go through before you play a football game.
And then scored an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah. You got one of them, right?
My fantasy team certainly does.
All right, stop on fantasies. Let's deal with reality now. Come on in. I'll tell you, this is a difficult game for me to handicap. I'm going to tell you why. Two pretty good teams, very good teams that I believe that had windows that bad luck or bad situations or not playing up to their ability didn't let them go all the way. And there were two teams that could have.
Yeah, I mean, I think Miami's window is cracked. I think it's cracked. Buffalo's I still think is closed, but
we'll see what happens. And listen, Allen, anything can happen. I mean, he lost a good receiver. Well, let's see what happens. They showed me some stuff. What scares me off that game, it's a Thursday night game. Thursday night game. And the other problem I have with that game is it's cold in Buffalo right now, and it's hot in Miami.
And there's a 10-degree difference between sidelines. Did you know that?
Yes, I do.
Because of the way they built the stadium.
Yes.
Miami sidelines in the shade.
Shade. Right. They did it for a reason.
Yes, they did.
Okay. But the point is Thursday night games, Monday night games, Sunday night games are nationally televised. Nobody wants to go out there and lose in front of the whole country. And not only that, when you watch the nationally televised games, you get more attention. So if you're a rookie or a player coming in second string, you can get your 15 minutes in the sun to the whole country. So people play above their capability at that time, and you don't underestimate anyone. That's a good game. I'm going to watch it. It's going to help me with my handicapping in the future.
Absolutely. Let's go to the Sunday slate then. That would be the Raiders visiting Baltimore. Baltimore opened up at 8, and that line's now sitting at 9.5.
Listen, Baltimore's a powerhouse. You saw it.
Played the defending champs tough.
Tough. Kansas City looks really good this year. I mean, they weaponized in areas. Shutting down Kelsey is not stopping that team anymore.
No. Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice.
Yeah. And I don't know when I watch this TikTok, that's why I don't like it. They say Mahomes got hurt, did he?
Not that I know of.
I'm watching flashing news. The other thing is I saw Aaron Rodgers cursing the team, and I found out it's artificial intelligence.
Good old AI.
I assure you my intelligence may not be everything I want it, but it's not artificial. This is me. That's him.
This is true.
Okay, what I think the best thing here is to this game, I never lay 9.5, and with the Raiders, I don't know about taking the 9.5. I'm going to say it again. When the line's that high, I mean, it's not obvious. It's obvious to know who they think the better team is. I just don't know this. Give me touchdowns. I don't know how excited Baltimore is going to be to come against the Raiders.
Absolutely. The Chargers at the Carolina Panthers. That opened up with the Chargers being 3.5-point favorites, and they're now 6.5-point favorites.
That is a pick, but I don't think it's going to be a main pick. But I'm going to tell you, it's not that I think that much of the Chargers. It's just that I'm going to tell you.
Think nothing of the Panthers.
I don't want to say that. I think less than nothing. I feel bad for that new coach that came in. He's cleaning up somebody else's mess. But I really haven't seen him, and it's probably too soon for him to make the adjustments he needs. I don't believe he has the horses.
No.
Great quarterback in college. Not a team I would bet.
And Bryce Young won a national championship.
I mean, it is a pick, but it's not one of my main ones. Go ahead.
New Orleans at Dallas. That opened up with Dallas being 6.5-point favorites, and they are now still 6.5-point favorites.
New Orleans played very, very good ball. 6.5 is not the most teams. They're saying 3.5 because, give up 3 for being at home. I think the New Orleans is a solid team, but all they've showed me so far is against the Panthers. So
So how much did they really show?
I don't know. They just could have been a real. Maybe the Panthers was a good team and New Orleans just outshadowed them. I don't know. It's too early in the season.
Exactly.
But when it's early in the season, and Dallas should run away. They'd like to beat up on lesser teams. I don't know if New Orleans is a lesser team. I have a hard time betting with Dallas. I have a hard time when I bet against them.
Let's go to Tampa Bay at Detroit. Detroit opened at 6.5. They are now 7-point favorites.
7 points, a lot of points. What do you see right there?
That would be a star, I see.
I like Tampa Bay. It would be one of my picks. I don't know if it'll be a main one. I don't know yet.
But see, everything moves.
Tampa Bay showed me a lot.
Yeah, they played very well against the Commanders.
Yes.
They played very well.
But they are the Commanders.
Yes, rookie quarterback, getting used to the NFL, but, still played well. Still got a lot of weapons. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
And Detroit played well.
Yes, Detroit did play well. I feel like they found their footing in overtime as well.
I think their window is still open, too.
Detroit?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, wide.
All right, wide. All right. Maybe we could climb through. Okay, next.
Indianapolis at Green Bay. Green Bay opened as 5-point favorites. Of course, after the injury and everything of that nature, Indianapolis is now a 3-point favorite.
A lot of people down to Green Bay and said that I was crazy. I was keying on them. When I key on them, it could be against them, not always for them, but there will be times I'm for them. Without the quarterback, I'm not sure. Indy minus 3.5. That's 5 to 3.5. That's an 8.5-point move.
3. It's 3.
What?
It's 3.
That's an 8-point move. That's one of the plays that I'm considering betting. I like that play. Indy minus 3. I like it.
I do like that play as well.
It's not 5 stars, but there's 3 stars. Go ahead.
Malik Willis at the Green Bay quarterback. Not sure how that's going to go. Cleveland at Jacksonville. Jacksonville opened up as a 2-point favorite. They're now 3.5-point favorites.
Unless Deshaun gets an infusion, Cleveland, I think, with a proper quarterback, and if he rose to just half what he used to be, would be a contender right now. Was my Cinderella team, but I think the shoe to fit on a foot broke.
Yeah. If he could play at 25% of the way he was in Houston, this would be one hell of a team.
I think Jacksonville showed me some things, and I don't think laying 4 points at home is unreasonable. One of the ones I'm considering for my main pick. I like it. Go ahead.
San Francisco at Minnesota. The 49ers opened as a 7-point favorite. They are now a 6-point favorite. Kind of surprised that went down.
Well, I got 5.5.
6 now. See, it even moved from this morning when we talked about it.
Don Best for you.
Oh, yeah, Don Best.
Oh, he's the best. Donnie boy. 7-6. Minnesota had a very good showing. I liked them. San Francisco's coming off a big win. Rule of thumb usually is you don't do as well when you win on Monday night because you lose. You had a high on the road, and you're coming home. I think it's going to be a good game to watch for betting for the future. Christian
McCaffrey probably not going to play in this game again either, although that did not seem to affect them Monday night against the Jets. Seattle at New England.
When are the Jets playing? Oh, yeah, they are. They were 4 o'clock. This is 1 o'clock still.
No, they are 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Seattle at New England. Seattle opened up as a 3-point favorite. They're still a 3-point favorite.
I was never very good with Seattle. I liked them against the Patriots when they threw the interception.
Big fan of that interception.
Yeah. That's up to you. New England and Seattle,
you're on your own.
I wouldn't book it. I wouldn't bet it. Next.
The New York Jets at the Tennessee Titans. Jets opened as a 4-point favorite. That line is sitting at 3.5 now.
Okay, 4 to 3.5. That's not a significant move, but a move. So basically, they're saying that the Jets is only a half point better than Tennessee. Is that correct?
That's what they're saying.
No, actually, it's more than that. No, because Tennessee's
home. Yeah.
Tennessee's home. So they're actually saying they're 6 points, 6.5 points favorite. Tennessee didn't show me much.
No, they didn't.
The Jets played the the runner-up of the the best team second best team in football. I still think is the best team. We're close, maybe not with the corrections. Andy Reid, I like him as a coach. 49ers coach, they should have won the Super Bowl. Bad coaching, lost that game from not hard playing. But he's done it consistently in every Super Bowl. He did it with the Atlanta Falcons against the Patriots. He did it twice.
Big fan of that one too.
Yeah, I know. You love the Patriots. No one doesn't like Tom Brady. I mean, come on. I like the Jets laying 3.5 on the road.
The New York Giants now at the Washington Commanders. Commanders opened as a 2.5-point favorite, down to 1.5.
Giants usually own the Commanders.
Daniel Jones has been very good statistically in his career against the Commanders.
Giants are one of the teams I don't bet with. I don't bet against. I wouldn't book it. I wouldn't bet it. I'm going to watch it because both of those teams, for future betting, I'm going to look at. Anthony gives you the information you need to, it's out there. I'll give you the insight into betting. I'm curious that if Daniel Jones doesn't rise to the occasion, which he's always had at the Commanders, I would say it's time for Giants to start looking for a new quarterback.
No, they're looking. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
That would be the Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams opened as a 2-point favorite, and they are now the underdog. Arizona's a 1.5-point favorite.
It's 3.5-point move. I like Arizona. I don't know if I like them at 1.5, but what they're really saying, if Arizona's at 1.5, they're only when they get 3, they're at 1.5. They're saying that actually the Rams are a 1.5 favorite.
Point favorite, yeah.
And they were saying at 1 that they're 3.5, 2.5, 3.5, whatever.
Things to look at that game.
I like Arizona there.
Yeah, well, just some things to look at that. The Rams offensive line came into week 1 banged up, got even more hurt during the week. And Puka Nacua, their number 2 wide receiver, out with a knee injury. He's on IR. He'll be out the next 4 weeks.
Hope he feels better. He's a very talented receiver.
Very, very good.
Yes.
The Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. A game that we all love to see. Kansas City opened as a 3.5-point favorite, and now they are a 6-point favorite.
Well, if Burrows was going to kick it in and they are a slow starter, they might kick it in there.
You would imagine. Don't want to get embarrassed by Kansas City.
No, they don't. You don't need me to tell you how good Kansas City played. I just don't know. You don't need me to tell you how bad Cincinnati played. First 3 weeks of football, it doesn't take 18 games to win a Super Bowl. We're going to see each other again. That's one's up to you. I think Mahomes is one of the greatest young quarterbacks to ever take the field.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I think he comes under some scrutiny, but listen, that comes with success. Joe Burrows is a warrior, has been in college, has been there. He caught some bad breaks. I'm really going to watch that game. If you're going to throw a couple of hours, that's what I said last time. In the Kansas City game, it's entertaining for betting value. Absolutely not. Go ahead.
Pittsburgh at Denver. Let's see. Pittsburgh opened up as a 2.5-point favorite, and they are now a 3-point favorite over Denver.
Denver opened up 2.5.
Denver opened. No, let's see. Let's make sure
What
here.
did Denver open?
Pittsburgh opened as 2.5, and
okay.
now it is
the
3.
line is the most important thing here. Okay. I favor, and I have 1 star next to Pittsburgh. I don't know if that's going to be my main pick. I'm still going to do a little more research because you still have Russell Wilson as a question mark.
That is true. It's either him or Justin Fields. Obviously, Justin Fields led them to the victory in week 1, but I would imagine
but they weren't paying Denver at the time either.
I would imagine if.
And where again did Russell Wilson come from?
He was on Denver last year.
Yeah, sometimes, they like...
A little revenge game.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So let's see what happens.
The Sunday nighter would be the Chicago Bears at the Houston Texans. Houston opened as a 3.5-point favorite. They are now a 7-point favorite.
I loved Houston at 3.5.
Yeah.
I still like them at 7. Normally, I don't like to lay more than 4 points. But I think Houston is coming off a loss.
No, they won. They won against the Colts, yes.
They won against the Colts. 7 points a lot, but Houston at home.
Bears literally did not score an offensive
Not
touchdown.
an offensive touchdown. I don't like 7 points with any team. They're still professionals, but I got to tell you, Houston is looking good this year, but they've always hurt me on a bet. But I have 3 stars next to them.
This is true. And then
But what I handicapped them to do, they usually do when I'm on the negative side to them. Forget about the stars. That's just for my own stuff in my head, so I shouldn't confuse you with that. But I don't think it's the best bet on the board, but it is a good bet.
Finally, the Monday night game.
That's what I'm excited.
That would be Atlanta at Philadelphia. Philly opened as a 4-point favorite. They are now a 6.5-point favorite.
I loved Philly at 4. 6.5 is not quite 7, but 7. If you're
Miss an extra
bet,
point.
I mean, it would be hard for me to bet Atlanta at this point. I want to see more from them. All I saw about Philly was in Brazil, but they played pretty good.
Yeah, they played well.
I don't think their defense is doing as good as it used to.
No, their defense is a big question mark.
I don't know if Green Bay was good out there or their defense is that bad. It's too early in the season.
Saquon Barkley, though, what a hell of an addition he was to the Eagles.
Yes.
Which John Mara, I'm sure
he would be an addition anywhere.
Yeah, John. And there was off-season Hard Knocks where they follow the Giants around for the season.
Yes.
And John Mara, the owner of the Giants, said, I would have a really hard time sleeping at night if Saquon Barkley went to the Eagles. And he goes to the Eagles, the first game, scores 3 touchdowns.
Okay, I think that pretty much wraps it up for week 2. I'm sorry it took the distance it did. There was confusion. My phone number's in there somewhere. I don't know how 2 people got in touch with me. They said through the site. If there's any service I could be to you, I assure you, that $24.95 does not come to us. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay. But however it does the things, we were investigating doing our own app. It would cost us $50,000.
Yeah, $50,000.
Or anything else close would have been less money, but we would have had to put $10,000 up front.
Yeah.
The gentleman that developed that app was going to come today to explain how to use it for you. And he's not happy with what he has to give up to, but that's the age of technology, and Apple does control a lot. So I'm going to say this one more time. Even if you bet $25, it didn't cost you anything this week. It only costs you something if we lose. I'm vehemently working on other options. I do not monetize the channel. You see the hits? That's just to let me know if you like us or you don't. I didn't want to take money that way, to be honest. Am I lying, Ant?
No.
Okay. If I'm going to tell you something, I'm going to tell you blatantly the truth. Everything, and I pay attention, you ask me to do, money management, who we bet, what time we bet, being able to buy back bets, be able to come in early or come in late. And I made it weekly instead of monthly because if we want to discontinue, or we didn't want it that week. So my position is this and very simple. I'm doing what I can, but believe me, it's not out of taking your money. Not here to do that. And I wish I could make you all billionaires. If I could, I would. And you don't owe me anything but just being smart enough to listen. But the negativity, people should hear the whole story before they attack. And I tell you the truth, I don't want those kind of people listening to us. They're just negative.
Positive energy.
I said, I used to race racehorses. Did I go on the slow and abuse them before the race? I mean, seriously. When was the last time somebody said go out and lose one for the Gipper? I mean, come on. Think Vince Lombardi motivated, and you know I'm a motivational trainer, right? You think I go in and tell everybody you suck? I mean, it's just not good. It's just not good to do. I'm here fighting for you. What's that?
Fighting for him.
Well, thanks, Sam. How come Anthony? Okay, once again, taking action with Chris Colombo and Anthony Conover. He's the future. He fills in the things that I don't know. And the betting perspectives, I'm pretty sure I know. Matter of fact, the most successful bookmaker came from my judge who presided over me that could have gave me life in prison. That's where that came from. She said, because I did it for so long, so successfully, and I was successful because there was not one act of violence. And I'm proud of that. But, however, when I reigned on the street, it was that way. Legalized gambling can suck you dry. I want this to be here long after I'm gone and Anthony be able to carry the torch. Thank you for coming to Taking Action. Anthony Conover, you could trust him. You like him. Look at that face. He hates when I pinch his cheeks. I'll see you next week, and hopefully good news, and our pick stands up. Because if it does, it didn't cost you a thing.
To next week it is.
Good luck. God bless.